Am I starting now?
Yes.
Hold on.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if that was for me or if there was some sort of introduction.
Yes.
Mag-intro.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Actually, we'll introduce you first and then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Diba, Ate Grace and Mom, she will like introduce the show and I will introduce the guest speaker.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I
First,
thought.
Live na
Okay.
tayo ha.
Okay,
Ready?
go.
Good evening, America, and good morning, Philippines. Welcome again to our show, Pakigbisog, Aron Mahimsog. Basig na tingala mo karon nga nag-English ko, tungod kay naatay guest nga mag-Tagalog tayo. So, gusto ko pong i-welcome kayong lahat. May nitong pag-abi-abi ka na itong tanan. Salamat po kayo ay rating sa ating programa. Talagang masaya kami sa araw na ito sapagkat maganda po ang ating pag-usapan sa Bisaya pa, Pagkukabildo, alang sa atong pagpaugnat sa kusog. Basta kay daghan gitang matunan karong takna. So dili nato lang ayon no kay panikad na kay ko diri nga makudalo og daghan tang mga guest gikan sa Europe, napunta sa Philippines, unya naata diri sa America, basta bibo kita karon naa. So guys, stay tuned. Once again, welcome to our weekly show. So, aya nato tagan og formal nga pag atong hisgutan ang atong topiko ning takna, atong ihatag usab usa ni Ashley ang opening prayer dayon maghisgot na dayon ta og pagpaugnat sa kusog. Shley, ako ihatag kanimo ang panahon. Nara si Shley gang. Siya may opening prayer.
Na-out siya.
Naot siya. Ikaw na lang.
Okay, okay, let's pray. Among mahal ug mahibang Diyos nga lakas sa mga langit, salamat kay Ginoo nining matahong nga adlaw nga sama ka sa Ginoo. Aniya na sad kami Ginoo, magadala og mga impormasyon alang Ginoo sa kayuhan sa mga panglawas among giimbitahan Ginoo palihog Ginoo balang presensya aron sa niya na Ginoo mahimong ma-successful ang programa ning adlaw. Kini mong gipasalamatan Lord sa ngalan ni Jesus. Amen. Okay. Shley is here.
Yes. Siya po ang magbigay ng introduction, siyang magpakilala sa ating panauhin aning taknaan. Hindi na makasumpag tarong. So, Shley, I will give you the time to introduce our special guest tonight and morning in the Philippines.
Na ang signal ko dito.
Oh, okay. We can hear you, Shley. Oh. Hello, Shley? Oh, it seems that Shley, ang signal ni Shley is very slow. So we'll just welcome Pearl at this time. Pearl, we're very sorry about this technology thing and as well as with the delay of time. So Shley, are you there?
No, I think she's not present. So I can go ahead and
Okay,
just
sure.
start. Kind of, I have some bullet points here that I could cover. that I've written down. But just to kind of introduce myself, my name is Pearl Jenkins. I live here in Memphis, Tennessee, and I have ran my personal business for 3 years. I'm a personal fitness trainer. I'm certified, which is very different from people who just call themselves a fitness trainer, but they're not certified. They don't really have all of the background knowledge that they need to know regarding like the full physiological aspect of the body. And I work also online. I teach virtually, and I also work in a gym. So all of my virtual clients are actually part of my business, but the ones that I work with my clients, those ones are with a specific gym. So, and that's what I do currently. So I know that you guys, I know that Shalay wanted me to cover some like basic questions as to like, how did I get kind of into fitness. So, but before I get there, I just kind of want to talk about like who I am and like where I like my background. I think that's sort of important. It kind of lays the foundation. No split kayo na ha? Sorry, ang Tagalog ko bulok to talaga. But okay.
Kaya, kaya pa.
So when I was younger, I was not really into, I mean, I can't say I wasn't into fitness, but you know, like kung bata tayo, it's like we're always very energetic. I was one of those kids who just had too much energy. I loved to run. So when I was in middle school, I got into the track team and I was a runner. And so that really propelled me to start running because I started joining like track meets and started competing with like group competitions. And when I got into high school, I joined ROTC, which is a Reserve Officer Training Corps. And I wanted to go into the military. I wanted to serve, you know, in the military. And I was good at it. I thought, you know, like, yeah, I'm a female, I'm strong, I could do what a guy does. But then God was like, no, I don't want you to do that. And really hurt me because it took me, I like was in this mindset of military training, drilling, doing push-ups. And I used to beat guys in like their push-up because I was really super strong, but it felt good, you know. Women can do it too. So then I started to still maintain my health, but it was when I was in Korea that I wanted to help people with nutrition, and I became vegan in 2008, and then more flipped a little bit to like plant-based, like vegan, but then it went like more plant-based and stuff, and so like whole foods. And because you can be vegan but eat terrible food, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with you. You can be vegan and eat the worst stuff. So I have friends that are like, oh, I'm vegan, but I'm eating potato chips because they're vegan. You know, and it's like, how do you like say, oh, so anything that has vegan on it, then it's healthy? Not necessarily. So I became more plant-based now, you know, and every now and then I have my moments where I do incorporate other things that's not technically like plant-based and vegan because my body actually needs it. And I listen to my body, and where it's like, oh, you're deficient in this, my body will actually naturally crave it. So that's something that I find happens every now and then. So for example, if you find people who are like into like for example, once a month, I will crave a piece of chocolate, maybe that size. And when I do, people go, oh, I didn't think you eat chocolate. And I'll say, of course I don't. I was like, but I need it because of the magnesium in the chocolate. So that's the only time that I would need it. So anyways, I got into nutrition, and then people eventually wanted to work out with me because they saw, well, hey, you look like you're in great shape. You seem like you know what you're doing. We'll work out with you. So I started a group in Korea, and I got them working out on Sundays with me, and I would teach cooking classes in my house. And I started to do that, and people got really excited. But then when I was ending my contract in Korea, I thought, gosh, what am I going to do for a living? I'm going back to America. I didn't even work in the field I wanted. I hated being a teacher in Korea. Hated, I should emphasize, okay, working as a teacher in Korea. And I just thought, what do I want to do with my life? And people said, go into fitness because that's what you're good at. And I was like, okay. And so I came to America, no job, no housing, no car. I went back to my family and I said, I'm going to be a personal trainer. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to like this training center in Arizona. They're like, how are you going to get there? You don't have a car. I don't know. Who are you going to live with? I don't know. And where is this place you're going to certified? I don't know. And they all looked at me with this very bizarre look like, are you crazy? Like, what is wrong? Like, where is the pearl we know who always plans her entire life perfectly? Like, you have no answers and you're going to just randomly go. And God, and I remember telling God on the plane, I said, okay, Lord, I have no idea how I'm going to get there. I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm going to trust you. And if you want me to go there, you need to plan everything out for me. So when I arrived in America, I was staying in Washington with a friend of mine. And I had recently contacted someone and they said, yeah, we're going to train you in Arizona. And they told me, do you have a car? Asked me, do you have a car? I said, no. And they said, do you have a place to live? And I said, no. I was like, you need to figure that out. And they were like, are you kidding me? Like, you're just going to come here to Arizona and you're just going to be like, you need us to figure that out for you? I was like, yeah, or else I'm not coming. I'm like, it's like, is that or the other? And I said, God, if you really want me to be a personal trainer, that you can use this to help thousands of other people, like, and you feel like you can use me, then you need to open the doors because I can't do that. So I get 1 week before I'm supposed to get to Arizona, housing, transportation, food, all worked out. When I got to Arizona, a lady, one of the clients I was working with, she found out that I was living in Arizona without a car, that I was dependent on, here's the kicker. God allowed me to live with an 80-year-old man who was vegan. And I was like, this is perfect. And the exchange was, I just had to cook for him and clean his house, and I could live there for free. I was like, sweet deal, bring it on. I was like, God, you are so good. And he was the sweetest old man. He was like the best grandpa. I was like, oh my gosh, I would clean your house any day. And you were like the sweetest guy. He gave me the master bedroom as my room. I had the whole place to myself. It was just like so nice. I mean, just a very sweet living. And he was a Christian. So, hey, God opened it up. I wasn't in any danger. And to get to Arizona, God orchestrated it where my family ended up driving me to Arizona because they were like, we want to know who you're living with. We don't want you to live with somebody crazy. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. And God just provided everything. And that is when I knew that this was the path God wanted me to be. And as I continued to learn, and people that I was training just loved working with me, really enjoyed my workouts, really found it helpful and saw results. And to me, that was powerful. And when I saw that happening, I just thought, gosh, I love this. I love doing this job. I could do this all the time. And every time I come home, I always tell my husband, I love my job. I really love my job. And I don't know, when you find that passion, you find that thing that you really enjoy, that is something that I think really changes your perspective on how to serve in the field that you're in. So that's what, God did for me. And that's how I started my exercise journey. But as you can see, it started a long time ago. I just took a lot of detours to get here. And there was actually one time where I felt like God wanted me to go there, but I didn't listen. I was in college. And I should have, and I thought to myself, looking back, I was like, why didn't I just go to exercise health? I was like, I could have done it then, and I would have been doing this for a really long time, and now I'm just starting it. It's like, and we beat ourselves up. I'm in my 30s and I switched careers, and I always think, oh my gosh, like this is so old to change a career. But if this is where God wants you, it's okay, and you just have to be really trusting. So, how does faith relate to our health and fitness? I have used my faith to be able to pray for a lot of clients and to help people with emotional, spiritual issues. And a lot of times people separate these two. They think, oh, I need to get skinny, I need to lose weight. And oh my gosh, look at me, like lost myself all these years. But they don't realize that there's an emotional attachment and there's a sin attachment to it. Oh, that's something I think people don't recognize, is that because food becomes an addictive idol to a lot of people. Can we be honest? Right? I have a lot of emotional eaters. I'm sad, so I'm doing this, right? It's like in the middle of the night, I'm so emotional. Where's my donut? Or where's my ice cream? Or my chocolate? We emotional eat ourselves into a very unhealthy lifestyle. And so when you think about that, why are we doing that? It's because I believe we're spiritually also kind of distant, in the sense of we're not recognizing that our faith and our health are united together. Okay. I tell my clients these 4 pillars, right? Emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical health. It's like a chair, the legs on a chair. If one of the legs of the chair is broken, that leg is going to fall, right? If your physical health is broken, you're going to fall. If your spiritual health is broken, it's going to fall. And so we have to understand what part of these legs are falling, and we have to think to ourselves, why is it falling? And is there a part in it where it's interconnected, right? Because all of it is. They're all connected. So that's one of the things that I try to encourage a lot of my clients to think about, because when they work out with me, a lot of emotions start coming out. People feel good, but when you're working someone out and they're tired, they're emotional. I will say I've had a client cry on me, okay? And it's because they were so emotional that day. There were so many bad things happening to them, and I had to stop them. And I prayed for my client right there, and say, okay, God, let them achieve, let them overcome whatever it is they're going through right now, and let them use it into their workouts. So why do I think health is really important? Now, Filipinos right now in the Philippines have 3 main things that are killing you guys: heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Okay. Your heart, 3.2 million people have diabetes in the Philippines. 3.2, and about 1.5 or 1.9 million aren't even registered because they don't have the medical or don't have access to it. There's so many like not even diagnosed. They don't even know they have diabetes. So when you think about that, like Filipinos, think about what you're eating. Think about the things that we eat. And when I was in the Philippines, I got really sick because I recognized a lot of it is processed food, lots of fatty food, fried, almost everything, and it's all dipped in oil. Those things are one of what I saw of me having to kind of address that when I did an evangelistic series in the Philippines on health. And a lot of people were like shocked about that, because they were like, what? I didn't even know that. I was like, well, yeah. And so I feel like educating and helping people, understand how the body works helps you make better choices. So with that in mind, we can go on to our, I think second part of it, which is, I guess, the question and answers. But if I could put out a question there, if it's possible, if it's allowed, I'd like to put out a question to my participants. What hinders you from being able to exercise? What are some of the problems that stops you from exercising?
Pagod na kasi marami nang nakain.
So you're tired after okay. You've just eaten, now you're tired. Okay.
Actually, for me, kulang lang talaga sa motivation. Kasi, first, I recognize that kailangan ko talagang mag-ehersyo, mag-exercise, mag-naugnat sa kusog. Pero, wala siya. Problema na ko, kulang kong motivation. So,
Okay, motivation. Ano pa?
Sige kayo. Iba naman magsagot.
Kulang sa
Ano?
time.
Sa time? Okay. Ano pa?
Kulang sa drive.
Commitment.
Commitment. Tama.
Okay. Commitment.
Masarap matulog.
Time.
Masarap
matulog.
matulog.
Okay.
Walang strength. Walang lakas.
Sleep is life. Busy. Busy sa hanap buhay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yung sa akin, usually time.
Tama. Kapulan.
How many of you guys? Okay. So narinig ko, sleepy. Wala nang motivation, wala nang commitment, wala nang time. At busy
Lazy
kayo.
daw. Lazy.
Oh, lazy. Oh, at least honest talaga.
Yeah, but actually, Pearl, all these friends with us today, we actually invite them because we are really also how they exercise. I and Mimi were very inspired with their life, especially with the exercise. So, yeah.
Introduce mo muna sila siguro, Gang.
Yeah, after Pearl will
Okay.
speak whatever she prepared, then
Okay.
I prepared PPT for them, and also our viewers will be encouraged as well. Yeah.
So I just wanted to correct. Exercise lahat kayo already? You guys are exercising.
Yeah, all of these friends here. So we invite them here so Pearl and together with the rest of the friends also can motivate our viewers. Yeah.
Got it. That's awesome. So how many times a week do you exercise, guys?
Ikaw, Meow. Araw-araw ka.
So, kung ako ang tatanungin, like, for me, if I can, I will do it 5 days a week. But since I was working, I am working 12 hours a day. So, at least 3 days in a week.
Oh, that's
At least 3 days in a week, yes. Kasi pag hindi kasi ako nakapag-exercise, lagi akong parang hinahanap ng katawan ko, yes. Hindi ako makatulog kasi I eat a lot today, I eat a lot yesterday. Oh, I have to exercise and my body wants to move. Just like it's like an addiction for me. Like I know everyone noticed it. Like I always post. It's just like my body wants to move.
So na yun, nag-exercise ka 3 times a week, generally. Kung meron
At
ka
least, yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Mitzi, ikaw, ng exercise regimen mo?
Ako, before, twice a week.
Na yun. Before hindi, na yun.
Now, because I'm pregnant.
Yeah, she's pregnant right now.
So my OB advised me to do my exercise next month. Kasi pag during sa ano siya, baka daw ako premature labor.
Yeah. Pearl, you may finish your presentation, and then after that, I would like to introduce them first, and then from there we can talk. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason why I'm asking about like how often people exercise is because I was just curious as to like I'm also wanting to know, you know, like what it is in terms of like how I was just kind of just gathering information and understanding where everyone is. But if you need to move on, I understand.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Are you going? Did you need to go ahead and move on?
Yeah. Yes. Please move on. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm done. What I'm saying is I'm
You're done. That's why you're having conversation.
I was just curious in terms of like how like if you guys were as active, and I was just kind of wanting to know like what your exercises are and what you do in terms of exercise, you know. So you exercise three times a week generally at charity. How often do you exercise?
Okay. Okay. So let me introduce them first, and then we'll continue. Okay.
Okay.
Is it okay? Are you done with like your book?
Yes.
You're done?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So as I've mentioned, invite po namin ang mga very good friends namin today. At actually, Shalome and Charity, they are very dear cousins. So yeah, so Charity, we call her Titing or chat with her other friends. Currently, Charity is working abroad in Malta together with her sister. Charity is a national player of volleyball back then. Yeah, so very big fan po kami ni Titing. Yeah, and also she loves this activity. And nung nasa high school pa kami, if I can remember very well, sa lahat ng mga magpipinsan, si Charity yung pinaka-motivated talaga, right, Ming, na mag-exercise. Nung high school kami, I was very big, actually, honestly, and I remember Titing said, "Gang, let's try to lose weight." And then I really appreciated her yung determination niya kasi hanggang nag-college kami until now, she is really keeping that motivation to exercise. So we're really glad and we praise God for Charity's inspiration also to us. Yes, I believe she goes to the gym as well, and maybe later on, Titing can also try to share with us what are her other activities. Yes, and yeah, Sheila May, we call her Miming. Yes, and lately, Ming, how many years have you? How long have you been exercising? Ilang taon? A year?
Actually, nag-start ako just recently, about December. Just December. Seriously
Okay.
having this exercise. Yes, December.
Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, Miming, she posted a lot of videos and photos when she exercised. So we're really glad, and we always cheer her up as well. Yeah, so these are some of the pictures that she posted. Yeah. And yeah, so both of them actually, Charity and Miming, they are volleyball players. We are a big fan of them as well. And yeah, Charity and Miming, they're really very sweet cousins. And back then, when we were kids, we used to visit their place every vacation. And then, yeah, their family is just very supportive and generous to me and Mimi and for the rest of our family as well. So Ting and Ming, please extend our thanks to your family, to uncle and auntie and the rest of the family. Yeah, next is I would like to introduce Eileen Saile. We call her I. She is a business owner, and yeah, she's also the beauty queen in our group of friends. Yeah, yeah. She also we also are very motivated. I mean, we're very inspired also with I's physical activity. We saw the pictures, and yeah, these are the. I believe you were with Pam at this time, right? When this picture was taken.
Yes, Gang. I am with family.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful scenes. And I believe also you are going to the gym even these days? Not because of the pandemic.
No. I would stop a year ago, but as of now, since we cannot go out often, I do walking every day, at least an hour a day. And just recently, I go back to do skipping rope, maybe thousands repetitions a day,
Oh,
just
wow.
to sweat it out.
Right. This pandemic has really affected a lot of us.
Yes,
Bawal pa
yes.
rin ay magpunta ng gym hanggang ngayon.
Yes, bawal. And even if it's not bawal, maybe you can discipline yourself because, 'di ba, people are going out and then maybe you can be a model to everybody not to go out because if you go out, people also will follow you. So maybe you can be responsible enough, 'di ba?
Right.
You can exercise. You can really do exercise at home. You can dance. You can walk. I just walk around the gate every day. Maybe an hour. So I need to do at least 7,500 steps to 13,000 steps a day. I need to do it. 13,000 steps a day.
Wow, that's great. May na dunggan ni mo to, me.
Yes.
Lakaw na, may. Lakaw na.
Pagsugod na. Okay, thank you so much, I. Um, in we've been doing this online, this health talk, like for more than a month already. In many of our talks, I always oftentimes I mention these friends of ours, Pearl. Yeah, we're really inspired of how they really exercise, and yeah. So this is I's family, and so I think one good
Yeah.
thing when we do like good healthy habits in the family, at first maybe it's so hard to convince our family members na uy mag-exercise din kayo, but I think when we just continue, I would say that we will have a positive impact even to our family members. So this is very very inspiring. And then next is Elmira Acoimo, our friend. Her name is Elmira Acoimo, and we call her Rai or Mirai. She's a very good friend also to us. Currently, she is a bank branch manager in our city, in Dipolog City. And I can't get a lot of pictures, but back then, Rai, this is your ID also with
Yes.
national game.
Oh, yes.
This the
During,
gymnastics.
during national game.
Yeah, national game.
Yes.
Yeah, also
During national game.
yeah, I and Mirai when we were in college, we were in the same major. So I really get to know Mirai. And sometimes when I get tired, I try to sleep on her lap, but I tell her, Rai, I cannot sleep. This is very hard. Because they're really good muscles, very core muscles. Yeah. So yeah, she's also a black belter, and um, we really appreciate Mirai also with the way she managed her time in the past. And I asked her what else did. Yeah, she did sports dance, and when I asked her just before she got pregnant, she said she did regularly Zumba and kickboxing. So we praise God for your very nice inspiration, Rai. All right. So,
Thank you,
next is
God.
welcome, Rai. I would like to introduce Pamela Ruby Anito. We call her Pam. Yeah. We actually the rest of us we actually meet in our college days. God provided a way for me that I could attend a college, and God sent me to a Catholic college, and I really praise God for that. That He sent me there. Because of that, I could meet all these really wonderful friends. We began our good relationship during accounting one. We're really so yeah. Even
Kamamo manggod ka gang no. Nagkamamo ka?
yeah, I honestly, I'm not really
Kaiyak pa gang, no?
So we had really funny moments, and our professor even called me Miss Heading. Yeah. Anyway, that was the story of this friendship. Yeah, the rest of us, and Pam is she's a CPA by profession. Um, yeah. Whenever also Pam, si Pam at ang kanyang kabiyak. Yeah, whenever they go to the mountains, they do this. It's very very inspiring, really beautiful view, and so we always actually. I don't have this a lot of opportunity to really like like tell them you're doing good, we really appreciate, and then we're really inspired. I don't get that chance to really appreciate them, but actually even though we are very silent around, we are just very motivated with the pictures that they're posting. And so I just got few. Pam has a lot of pictures on her wall, but since we don't have enough time, so I just took a few of the pictures. Yeah, this is this the rice terraces, Pam?
Yes, gang.
Oh,
Banawe.
Panawe. Okay.
Uh-uh.
And is this the same place?
It's in Mountain Province also, but another place is like 30 minutes away from Baguio City. It's in Atok Benguet. It's actually a flower farm. So they're
Mm.
actually planted. They're famous with their cabbage flowers.
Oh wow. Can we eat them, Pam?
Cabbage na
Uh,
gang?
it,
Cabbage daw.
Flower
cabbage
na
flower.
cabbage.
Flower
flower
and
nga
vegetable,
flower
Pam.
nga cabbage, right? Can edible, except that with the chemicals used, they're not advising you to eat na. So
Oh.
pero dapat nakaka-edible siya sana, but because of the chemicals used in growing those flowers or those cabbage flowers, they're not good for eating na.
Oh, I see.
um,
Pam, how often did you do this kind of activities when you were in Luzon with Joby? Like once a month or
actually
just a
you know, it's funny for me because actually I laughed when I got the invite to be included in this group. But well, actually I said I'm the exception because I really don't do it. I really don't do irregular exercise whatsoever. It's just that when we were in Manila, like for more than a decade, I really miss the bukid living or the mountain living. And then I first did this, hiking, mountain climbing in 2007 with some office mates, and then parang nakaka-addict na siya. You like you struggle, and then the when you got to reach at the top or the summit, it's a very fulfilling feeling na andun ka. So, hanggang sa nagkaroon na ng group, na regular group na aakyat ng ganun. So, naging ano na siya, naging cape na namin siya sa busy city life. So, whenever we get the chance, when the schedule permits, talagang we will find time, and, and considering also the money, kasi every time you join this group, syempre, it's costly. So, yun, nagiging ano na siya, gala, and it's more like gala and exercise as well. Kasi hiking, like the most difficult maybe, or the longest was for 3 days.
Oh,
So you
wow.
have to like walk for 3 days, 2 nights and 3 days. So, yun yung medyo after that, parang nababawasan ka ng ilang kilos.
Pounds.
Gano'n. Oo. Pero after that, wala, kaya sabi ko, I'm the exception kasi I don't do regular exercise. Parang, lang, pag naakyat, may time, edi naakyat. Tapos pag may masarap na food, and then there's no saying no. Alam yan. I'm the most not healthy. So that's why I said, if the topic is about what not to do, I'm the best person to ask in the group. Because I think I'm doing all the not do, the things that you shouldn't do when you're into healthy living. Except that for me, it's parang an excuse na rin na at least I do this. You know, na parang may ginagawa pa din kahit papaano. So that's the catch. Pero other than that, parang hindi talaga, like especially now, wala akong regular na sked. Whenever I got the time, so I'll walk or medyo plantita na ngayon kasi nasa province na. Pero yun na yun. Pero wala talagang regular na exercise na ginagawa. It's that yung mountain climbing or hiking, talagang other than gala, one thing we observe and one thing that motivates us to really do hiking, yung parang pag nasa city ka, we have all the allergies and everything, yung parang sinisipon-sipon ka. Pero okay lang yun. Pag naakyat ka na, pag ulan, araw, pero after nawawala siya. So parang there's magic na pag nasa mossy forest ka, nasa pine forest ka, pero nawala yung sipon, nawala yung ubo. Alam mo yun, yung parang gano'n. Tapos pagkababa mo, pag nasa city ka, andito na naman siya. So parang yun yung na-observe namin. Kaya akit pa din na akit, kahit nakakapagod.
Well, that's good.
So yun na yun.
Thank you so much.
Yung sharing with nature. Ano yun?
Yeah.
Communion with nature. That's the one thing, if not the best thing that we experienced while we did this, hiking, mountain climbing. Yung interaction with nature.
Right.
So,
thank you so much, Pam. It's one great thing about one great thing about sa Panginoon is that each person each individual, he gives us a different strength at yung mga saan tayo medyo hindi we're not very good at that, but our friend is very good with this. And actually, many of us who are actually living the cities these days, we are hoping. That's why, like, whenever you and Juvie are posting pictures, like, oh, this is the kind of life that I actually want. So, thank you so much, Pam. Regardless, yeah, of course, by God's grace, hopefully all of us, we can be more encouraged from now on. Even me and Mimi, honestly, I would confess, my field is in the food and nutrition, and I'm very careful. I'm doing what I can, of course, also, but I'm very focused with nutrition. I'm trying to, nagtry ako na mag physically active din, but I would say nasa minimal ba, hindi not as much as like many of us here na may regular, enough time, like at least 3 times a week or 5 times a week. So so we can draw strength from each other by God's help. Thank you so much, Pam. Thank you. This is saan to, Pam?
This is in Lake Hulon, in Tibuli. Lake Hulon is in somewhere Bukidnon.
Oh, wow. Really, really nice. Yes. And then, here, John, welcome. Junjun is here. His real name is Felicito Roosevelt Adaro. We call him Junjun. He is currently high school. He is a high school teacher. He is teaching business subjects. So also I'm very also especially John, tong gi-post nimo lately nga nag-climb bitaw ka og PC nga funny kaayo. So, and maraming pictures din si John na pinost sa wall niya, which is also very, very inspiring. So, John, many of your pictures on the wall, maraming nagbabike ka. So, how often do you do biking?
John?
Gang, murag wala si Junjun gang.
Okay.
Wala siya yung
Junjun
mic.
is a triathlete, diba?
Triathlete. Mangutan ako, naara ko'y camera.
Yes. Oo, klaro na kayo mga pretty face.
Akong lipstick.
Rosy cheeks.
Hindi na ako makita magod ang gallery sa tanan ba. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Pag
Yeah.
mutingog makit-an pero dili makit-an.
Di, na-off akong mic.
Okay. Yeah, and then nag-run food si Junjun, no? Very inspiring food kayo.
Try it.
I think
Try
that
lang
is
po siya,
run,
gan.
bike, and swimming.
Bike and swim.
Bike and
Oo,
swim.
triatic.
Yeah. Yeah, actually Junjun also, I mean, Junjun really has a lot of pictures, so I just limit the number of pictures that I put here. I think he engages in different kinds of physical activities.
Grabe na iyahang physical activities because he has all the time in the world.
Yeah, Junjun is single. But it
The
should not be
benefit of
excuse,
being
right?
single.
Is it a good excuse?
Yeah, being single and gorgeous.
Yes, it's really yeah, it's very inspiring. Okay, anyway, those are the pictures that I've gotten from their wall. So yeah, I commend everyone for the inspiration that you have shared to all of us. Yeah. Okay. Maybe
Kasi
we can.
managang Korean mana.
Oh yeah. Okay, wait. One man kaning ito pa ay yung mga kabilin sa Korea ba ng mga mga kagamitan. Okay. So probably Pearl, in case if our friends here they have questions, is it okay if they will ask questions to you?
Absolutely. I don't think I answered the questions that were in your bulletin though.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. If there are, okay. So, okay. Do we have me? How much time do Pearl? Is it okay still with your time and everyone? Is it okay? You're okay. Okay. Thank you. So maybe we can have a discussion probably like for 10 minutes. So, Mimi, are you there? Okay. All right. So, first question, maybe I'll just read the question and then anyone can answer. And then, or first, maybe if we have like question to Pearl or Pearl has questions to you, we can open the time now. Okay, I'll ask the first question. Pearl, one of our very good friends, Mirai, she is currently pregnant. Rai, how many months?
It's 8 months already. Next month.
Okay, 8 months. Yeah. So
Running 8 months.
yeah. So Pearl, do you have clients na pregnant?
I actually haven't had clients that are pregnant, but
Okay.
I have studied a little bit in regards to postpartum exercises too, which are very, very important and essential for women because it's things like diastasis that most women don't realize happens and how to maintain their pelvic floor and strength because it's actually very important. And is this your first or second child?
Third
Your
child.
third. Okay. So you're yeah, I don't know like on your first or second, if I may ask, like what's how did you feel like your energy level was and how did you feel your body reacted to the pregnancy?
So first, hindi ako naka-experience ng labor.
Oh, so madali ka lang nanganak, right?
Oh, easy.
Wow.
Tapos, I sleep better. It
Dugangi
reduces
pa.
back pain, backaches, constipation, bloating, and swelling. So I haven't experienced that all.
Wow. Pearl, do you think Mirai's she has no hard time? Like for me, actually, I had a lot of hard time when they were all there because actually I was pregnant in Korea, but I really went home. I said, Korea has a very good healthcare system, but I will really go home. So when I went home, all of many of them, most of them, they saw how you know my calvary. But for Mirai, it was all easy for her. Probably I also. But Pearl, do you think that because Mirai was very physically active, do you think that that was one of the reason why it was just easy for her to give birth?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The statistics regarding women who exercise prior to pregnancy actually bounce back faster in recovery.
Wow.
And it's actually
Yes.
very, very important. Like if you're very active, even while pregnant, like just go for walks, walk, maintain some sort of physical thing, because what happens is that when you're stressing so much, your body is stressed out. I mean, your abdominals have literally expanded out far more than you would have done naturally. And because of that, most women have what's called diastasis, and then their pelvic floor is very weak. They have continence where they pee when they're not supposed to pee, because their pelvic floor is so weak. And so trying to pull all of that back up and maintain that pelvic floor strength is actually really important, because that affects all of your hip flexors, muscles right into your hip, and where you develop back pain. And if you don't maintain strength training right after pregnancy, you will have more problems when you get older.
Yes,
And so that's why I always say exercise is key. And I deal with a lot of women post-pregnancy. Those are many of my clients.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Pearl. Does any one of you have any question? May mga katanungan po ba tayo dyan?
questions.
Kaya pala siguro na CS ako. Nakulangan
Di ka nag-exercise.
exercise. Winter kasi noon.
May para talaga sa atin ito. Parang wala na akong balag sa masakit ko na karanasan.
First and second, isang iri lang. Labas na.
Sige.
Pila ganit ka days labor, gang?
I had 33 hours of labor.
Grabe ka.
10 was painless, 23 hours was from the start, from 10 hours painless, the rest kung ano yung pain, nung mag-start yung pain hanggang sa nanganak, the same. Next was
33?
23 hours. Yeah.
Sabi talaga, hindi na tumalab yung epidural sa akin.
Hala ka.
I learned a lot from Pearl, as in, sige, patuloy ang ating question.
Pearl and the rest of the gang.
Sige, ilang hours ang labor mo kasi mahilig ka mag-exercise?
Yeah.
Ako?
Oh.
Eating.
Firstborn, 4 hours? Yeah, 4 hours.
Bilis.
Yes, but the second CS.
Ano man?
Ngayon ko lang
Ano
alam.
ting? Ano CS ka?
Nakuyawan na si Miray.
No,
kaya nag-exercise mas si Titing, bakit na okay?
Oo nga.
Ano mga kating?
nasuhi maguto siya then
Ay.
Yeah.
Anong Tagalog lang nasuhi?
Nabaliktad.
Umaliktad.
Turn around.
Counterclockwise.
Ako kasi hindi ko rin alam.
Yeah, so exercise is one big thing, right? And then, but there are also some underlying factor. So, Charity's case, the second baby, the position was not the right position that the baby should, dapat nakasupport. Yeah. But at least if we exercise na yung isang risk factor ba nakuna na.
Right, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Nag-ready na ako sa aking second baby, ganun. Promise mo.
Exercise na kami, uy. Jogging.
Sige. Sige, gang. Continue, gang.
Okay. So,
Ay, andito na si Shley, gang.
oh yes.
Ayan, nandito na. Sir, yung question, yung isa sa mga questions sa chat natin for the viewers ba, yung mga obstacles, mga hindrance para makapag-exercise. Tapos kanina, just sinabi nila yung mga common reasons ng iba. So, paano kaya natin masolusyonan yun? Yung like, for example, laziness, busyness, yung mga laziness, busyness daw, sleepy, yung mga,
So So basically, what are the solutions to that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Possible. Yung mga possible.
Doon actually sa magazine, I don't know how many of you guys saw the magazine. Shlay, did you share that on the Facebook? Sino nag-share yun? Ikaw?
Okay.
Okay.
Nakamute
Si Kuya
ako.
Jezreel. Si Kuya Jezreel yung nag...
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nakita ko yun, binasa ko eh.
Yeah, so in there I tell people 3 tips in basically, but how to start, starting your but overcoming obstacles is a whole different question. I would say accountability. You need someone to keep you accountable. In your group, this is great to have, but it's also that accountability, setting up some time. People talk about not having time, but you have 1 hour to watch Netflix. You have 5 minutes that you spend,
Guilty.
3 hours wasting scrolling to Facebook, right?
Yes.
Ito nag-exercise kayo ng thumb mo, right? It's like,
It's true.
oh, that's the thing.
Natamaan na ako.
So I tell people, do you watch Netflix? Oh, yeah, I watch Netflix. I said, okay, what's your favorite show? And then they'll tell me their shows. And then I said, how much time do you watch? And they tell me. And I go, so you're telling me you don't have 25 minutes in one day to give to your health, but you have 3 hours to devote yourself to your show. And 25 minutes, when you think about it in one day, that's really nothing. That's like 4% of your day. Everyone has 4%. The thing is, what we convince ourselves of us saying, oh, I don't have time, is really, the words are, we procrastinate. We're really trying to not do it because of whatever emotional barriers or spiritual barriers you might have. I like to eat a lot. I prefer eating than I really do prefer exercise. It's like, so I always say, if these are your hindrances, if you were to be kept accountable and something was going to help you stay accountable, then would that motivate you? And what are your reasons for it? And I always say, think of a goal that you want. Right? So like, for example, when we're kids, when we were kids, your parents said, I want you to be a doctor, or I want you to be a nurse. Maybe nurses for everybody, right? Because we're Filipinos. Didn't happen for me. But usually when we're kids, we have a goal, like, okay, my goal is to get this grade on this test, right? For me to get that grade, I have to study. Well, if you want to have, a healthy body, what's your goal? What are you looking at? So doing the same thing, it's like, okay, by this date, I want to have this. But for me to get there, these are the things I need to do. And I say start simple. Maybe it's challenge yourself. That's what I did. Like I would do challenges, and I know probably Shley sees them on my Instagram. But I would always post challenges like, okay, I'm gonna challenge myself. 10 push-ups for 5 days. Anyone can do 10 push-ups for 5 days. Literally, that's 5 minutes of your time. In all honesty, 5 minutes. Like, no one can argue I don't have 5 minutes. Like, who doesn't have 5 minutes? You watch a YouTube video for 5 minutes. Come on. So you have that time, but then it's just figuring out how you're going to apply it. And I think setting a time for yourself, and pick a time that you like, that you're like, okay, after work, I know I'm going to be tired, but if I do it first thing in the morning, I'm out of the way. And I always think about it this way. If in the morning you have time to have your devotions, right after that, go right into your workout. Because you're spiritually sound, that if you start off spiritually sound, you're going to start off your day right. You're going to exercise, and then when you exercise, you're going to eat better. And when you eat better, you're going to feel better. And everything kind of retroactively creates a domino effect for correct choices. So if you're creating a proper choice in the morning, you're going to create that proper choice throughout the day. And then hopefully that domino effects into proper choices the next day, and then the next, then it's a week, then a month, and then a year. So as you do these things, it's one step at a time. So, and that would be my advice.
Thanks, Pearl.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so
Don, can I suggest something? Maybe in our group, we can have a GC so we can motivate each other to
that's a very
exercise.
good.
Yeah. And then we can share some tips. We can share some routines, especially for those who are starting. So, diba, maybe it's a great start.
Right.
Well, you guys, speaking of, if I may put it out there, small plug, okay, small plug. On my website, I actually have free videos, exercise videos, on my website that you guys are welcome to have access to. And they're set up for 3 days a week, 25 minutes long. Some of them less than that. They're about 20 minutes long. And they are high intensity exercises, but high intensity exercise is actually more beneficial because you burn more calories than after you've exercised. 25 minutes long. Some of them less than that. They're about 20. More beneficial because you burn more calories. If you guys are interested, I will put my link down in the comment section, and you guys can have access to it. And it's set up with a calendar, a PDF that you can print out or save on your phone, and you can see what the exercises are. They don't use equipment. You can do them in your house, and it's a great way to start, just putting it out there.
Okay, thank you, Pearl. So, Shley, meron kang website ni Pearl? Okay. So, Pearl, maybe if you could post the website so we can just
yeah, she can Pearl, you can put it on our chat, and
I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I have this. Thanks, Pearl. Yeah.
And it's all, and you guys feel free to add me on Instagram if you have it. I post videos on Instagram all the time as well.
Pearl, Instagram na ako because of you. Wala pa naman ako Instagram.
Yeah, but
I'll follow you po.
I saw Pearl's the Instagram is connected with Facebook.
Maybe, hindi ko alam actually. Maybe.
I see. Because I see this.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Connected.
I
don't know. Maybe it is.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah, and so very good kayo na suggestion kay dapat mag-challenge yun.
Yeah, so then maybe you guys can challenge
accountability, as Pearl has mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
I have a question. How can you start being a vegan? I guess I am also guilty as charged of eating unhealthy foods most of the time. So how can you encourage us to start from scratch?
You know what? It's actually easier than you think. And my biggest thing to do, I tell people, is if you want to go vegan, don't have things in your house that tempt you. If you really are serious about it, don't have things in your house that tempt you. Because then if you do, they're there, then they're there. It's like you open up your pantry and you're like, oh, there's chips. There's like these things, and you don't want to. But for me, because I've always hindi ako mahilig sa sweets, so hindi parang like ang problema ko yun. Actually, ang problema ko is more like gusto ko kumain lahat ng pagkain. So minsan I have to tell myself, pag na tapos ka na, babae, ano ka? Like,
Tumigil ka na. Tama na. Maawa ka.
right? It's like, minsan, isang oras already, kumain ka pa, ano ba?
Pearl, hindi ka nag-iisa.
Nagpaputok na. Ikaputok pala natin yung sound natin. Natin.
Tama. So yun naman ng, like, usually it's like, okay, you have your moments, but there are times where you have to be very consistent. During the week, I'll be honest, like, I do eat pretty well. I eat twice a day. Like, most of the time during the week, I eat twice. I do a lot of intermittent fasting. The weekends is where I taper off, and I'm like, it's time to party. And I'm just like, I'm like, dang it, I gotta go back on it, But I exercise 5 days a week, so that's that. I mean, it's like my body needs the fuel, and if I don't have that fuel, sometimes you have to listen to your body. It's like once you've been doing this long enough, you're able to listen to your body to go, okay, I know when to eat, I know how my body's going to feel. I can sense these kind of things. But to go vegan, like I said, I also have recipes on my website that are free that you can check out. They're all vegan recipes. They're very simple and easy. They come with a video, simple, like, ingredients. I don't talk about my life story in these. Like, every time I go online, it's like, I want to find a recipe, and then people talk about their life story, how they came up with this recipe. I'm like, can you just get to the recipe now? I don't need to get there, but
Excited. We're excited.
Very simple is what I'm pointing out. It's like, I just get to the point. So you're welcome to check that out too. But the best way to be vegan, though, is having support, having people who are there to support you to live that lifestyle, because it's difficult if your family doesn't support it, or if you're around people who don't actually, like, live the same way you do. It can be very challenging. You're like, I'm trying to be vegan, but everyone in my family is eating, like, steak. You're like, oh, nangamoy, right? So I think that's the best way to take that into consideration.
Thanks, Pearl.
No
Thanks,
problem.
I, for that very timely question.
I have a question. If it's like a follow up to I's question. I think I'll address this to you and Pearl. So what are the challenges you've encountered in terms of resources if you do a vegan, especially in your, because it's even hard for me to find a good cabbage here in Dipolo.
Correct. Correct. Pagsakan.
Yeah.
No, but vegan. We have also this. Is this a misconception or that being vegan is costly?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
talaga, hindi totoo yun po. Kasi, like, you usually, hanap mo ng what? Beans? Kung binili mo ng beans, cheap talaga yun, di ba? Like, you can get a bag of beans, and it's very inexpensive. And you can make curry with it. You can find tomato sauce, right? I'll tell you a recipe that I make all the time. It's so cheap and it's delicious. I literally take tomato sauce, some rice, some potatoes, and tomatoes and garbanzo beans. You stick it all together, you add whatever seasonings you like in it, however you want to flavor it, mix it up. And, well, I cook it in an Instapot. Now, I don't know if you guys have access to that, but you can saute it in a pan and then add all the ingredients onto it, in layers. And then it just cooks into a beautiful stew. And it doesn't cost a lot. Rice is not that expensive in terms when you get it in bulk, right? I don't know exactly, like, do you live in the Philippines out there, Pam?
I mean, it's a question again. You made the location. I'm in the province now, in Zamboanga del Norte, in Dapitan in particular, the Dipolog. It's just that I've observed, in terms of resources, it's not that that available or that much choices here compared to like when we were in Manila.
Right. My question is it difficult for you to get beans? The type of beans that you're able to get there?
It's not really difficult.
Is it mahal yun o hindi?
Dito hindi kasi binibigay kasi malapit sa farm, mas malapit. Pero mas mahal siya pag nasa Manila. Pero yung choices hindi ganoon kadami. Pag sinabi mo dito munggo lang. So parang ganun. So example pagdating sa leafy vegetables, yung mga example in Manila I can eat romaine but I haven't seen romaine for the past months already. Yung mga ganun.
Well, here is something.
You substitute romaine o na lang kay kamunggay.
Yeah, we have like kamunggay.
Yeah. A quick principle. Not everyone can go vegan based on your location. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yes.
But think about it in principle. Think about it in principle of what you have access to and how healthy you can eat. Now, in my belief, it's like there's a really amazing book called Ministry of Healing, and it is a book that just like really blessed me a lot. And that book does talk about like the importance of eating like the Eden diet, right? But the reality, here's something that you do have that like in the Philippines that most places don't have. You have fruit. Fruit in the Philippines is so abundant. It's so rich there in the Philippines. You may not have the mineral-based food, but what mineral-based foods you have are essential to that location, if that makes sense. Because God created every country to have the exact foods necessary to be there for the people that live in that region. So if you eat just fruit, more of a fruitarian diet, I will guarantee you that your energy level is going to spike because it has two things that most places don't have. Well, I would say vitamins are essential to our body because the vitamins are needed to fight against immune diseases, fight against heart disease, and it's got lots of antioxidants in it. It is so beneficial. But the minerals that you have are all in the foods that you have. Malunggay. You guys have what's that other? You guys have sitaw. You have talong. You have all of these vegetables that actually are inexpensive in the Philippines. They're easy to get, right? So eat those minerals because all of those vegetables have the mineral content that you actually need. You have sitaw, kamote, you have all of those things. So eat those. Don't eat diets that are American based. Eat diets that are Filipino based, but are high in those two things, vitamins and minerals, because those are the things that unlock all the keys and doors in our own system, if that helps.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, is that how you managed, Gang, when you were in
the Philippines? Oh yeah, that's exactly how I managed. I nearly died in the Philippines and I got super sick because the food was just saturated in oil. And I had to tell them, I said, I can't. I said, give me your blender and I'm just blending all the fruits. I said, that's all I did. And I kicked my body up and just got rid of all of the things that were in the food, because there's not really proper refrigeration as well in the Philippines.
Correct.
And that's
also another challenge.
So
I have a follow-up question, Pearl. What if you don't like eating too much vegetables and you just want to eat fruits for the entire day or for the entire week? Is it still healthy? Can you consider that healthy lifestyle still?
You can, but here's the problem with that, okay? If you go on a fruitarian diet, there's no turning back. By meaning that you can't flip a switch in your system by causing your body to go back to a cooked based meal diet. Because what happens is that your body, think about it this way, okay? Think of it like a car. You've got a Mercedes, oh, let's put it this way, a Honda, and then you've got a Lamborghini, okay? A Lamborghini is like your fruitarian diet. It is the best diet because it is the Eden diet, okay? Your Honda is more like eating basically cooked meals mixed in with vegetables and fruit. You can't, if you've got a really powerful engine, you can't put that engine in a Honda. You're going to destroy that Honda. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes. I
So
understand.
it's not going to function well. So the same thing with us is that if you're going to go on a fruitarian diet, there's no turning back from it because of the fact that it's going to.
So
really,
meaning if you're
because
what do you call that? What do you call that when you eat when you eat only fruits? What do you call that?
A fruitarian diet.
Yeah, if you're going to start with that kind of diet, you just eat fruits all the time. No coffee, no anything, only fruits.
You're meaning a detox?
No. If you want to start with that kind of diet, I mean, you cannot eat another kind of food, only fruits.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
And
I cannot live with that.
You would have to eat a lot. I mean, if you're going to do a fruitarian diet, you would have to eat a lot of fruit because of the fact that it processes so quickly through the body.
Yeah.
It processes like within 2 hours. So you'd be hungry like all the time, like eating, which is, I mean, it has fiber, but not enough, which is why we have the beans, because the beans have a lot of fiber and it maintains and satiates you. And it's got the protein to satiate you for a longer extended period of time, and also provides you a lot of energy throughout your day. Not to say that fruitarian won't. I actually was on a fruitarian diet, but then after I had listened to a very famous fruitarian and what he basically said, if you continue on this, you can't go back. And he said, because it will wreck your stomach, because you've trained your body to eat a certain way. And the moment, just like, for example, for me, I haven't eaten meat in 2000 for nearly since 2008. Okay. So 10 years, I haven't eaten meat for 10 years. If I eat a piece of steak now, the way that my body functions, I will be vomiting and being so sick. I would be put in a hospital for probably a week or more. Because my body does not know how to digest it anymore. So the same way that if you're going to be on a fruitarian diet for a really long time, your body has been trained to digest something and your gut flora has changed, that if you were to switch it up suddenly, your body is going to freak out. Okay, so that's why I say, like, think about what you're doing to your body. And a lot of people, they don't think about that. They just think, oh, I want to go on a diet, I want to lose weight, and then it's an emotional drive and not necessarily a logical drive.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Pearl. Yeah, one very important principle in nutrition is that variety. Pearl mentioned about beans, and also we need the carbohydrates and fruits and vegetables. So one important principle is really variety. Going back with Pam's question about, because I also lived when I gave birth to Gab, I went home for a year. I stayed there for a year. It was actually really hard also, like, to find the usual food that I ate back in Korea. So it was kind of hard at first, but later on I kind of like adjust once more living in the Philippines. So Pearl was right. I would say that we could focus on what we can makita natin locally na mga fruits and vegetables, and like for example, we don't have a lot of nuts, but marami tayong coconut. It's like here in the US, meron tayong almond, but dyan marami tayong coconut. So it's really amazing.
Almonds, pistachios.
Yeah, and it's really very expensive kasi, for example, magbili ka dyan ng pistachio, parang 150 ata, yung maliit lang. Yeah, so we can really go for the local foods. And what Pearl mentioned about availability, I would agree, because I was also a vegan while I was pregnant with Gabi, like 1 to 4 months. I was really vegan back in Korea, but when I went home, there were times that wala bang wala gyud makalap na yan lahat. Yeah, so I would agree with Pearl. Like it depends on the availability. So these days, what I'm doing with Gab is that I told Gab na, Gabi, you eat whatever is best available. Kasi ang bata, hindi yan pwede, ang bata, hindi yan pwede na magutom. Hindi pwede ang bata mag-fast. Mga bata, mga adolescents, fasting is big no-no for them. So I told Gab, like, Gab, kung mayroong beans at isda, pinag-train ko siya, anong piliin mo? Sabi ko, anong best dyan? Sabi mo, beans. Okay, what if isda lang at fish? Kung piliin mo, sabihin mo ni Gab, okay, piliin ko mami yung isda. Kasi yun mo lang pinaka-the best available. So sabi ko, Gabi, what if my chicken at beef? Anong piliin mo? So I train her na kainin yung best available. As we know na white meat is better than red meat. So something like that. Yun yung ginagawa ko kay Gab and yeah. Ko sa amin. So, yeah.
Tapos, sorry.
Yes, Ate Kay.
Yeah, I have a question. Because I was watching last night, it really opened our mind, both me and my husband, because we were watching Dr. Dale from Loma Linda. Yeah. He was discussing about atherosclerosis, and he talks about some foods contain a lot of fats, and he mentioned also that coconut has a trans fat. Is it true?
I'm not a nutritionist, but I would say that the fats in generally plant-based don't react the same way that fats do in other like meat-based. So I would say that I'm not. I can't say that I know that whether it has trans fat because honestly, I drink coconut all the time, and I'm like, I don't see that being an issue for me.
At the Grace, kasi meron akong PowerPoint about that.
Okay,
it talks about the oil. Pero wala sa phone ko. Yung main point lang. It's about the oil. Yung coconut oil, it contains saturated fat na hindi sa atin maraming percent compare sa ibang vegetable oil. So hindi siya maganda. I think yung nakita kong point about coconut is the oil, which is not really good for when I saw that information, it's a research study na hindi pala maganda yung coconut oil because it contains a very rich na saturated oil, which is not good for our body.
Well, any oil, I will put that out there, that any oil is actually, like most oil in general, aren't really, I mean, oil is already a contained fat. When it enters into your body, it maintains being fat. It doesn't change, like it doesn't break down. Okay, so it's already in its most broken down state. So you're just naturally absorbing more fat. But like, for example, a nut. You have a nut and it has fat in it. Okay, it has fat in it. But that nut, when it goes into your system, is broken down because it's also protein based. So it breaks down into amino acids. It breaks down to its lowest base form. And when it's broken into that base form, it gets absorbed into the system. Whereas oil doesn't get broken down into any base form because it's already in its form and it just gets absorbed as fat. So.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much. Yeah, for example, if just like what Pearl has explained, kung ang coconut kainin natin ang lubi ba, kung inkito lang itong lubi nga fresh, that's just like we're eating almond. And then, kung ilagay natin yung tuno natin, ano yung tuno pang Tagalog? Gata. Kung ilagay natin yung gata natin,
yung gata.
Vegetable, kung hindi natin yan pakuluan ng pakuluan, that won't make any trans fat. Kasi ang trans fat man ay lalabas kung yung sa heat temperature ba. So if we eat, so if we eat coconut in its natural form, that's fine. But of course, with our eating pattern, di ba, yung mga nuts should be also in a limited amount. So konti lang din, yeah. But actually, coconut, kasi ang coconut ngayon is marami na siyang nagre-research ba. Actually, coconut has a lot of benefit, mga antibacterial, mga ano pa yan. So,
it's good on your skin. It's great topically.
Yes.
As well as your teeth.
Oh,
yeah. It's really working great on your teeth. Yeah, because I suffered a lot of cavities before, but when I started eating coconut, it really works well.
Yeah. So ang joke nga magkit-kit og kupra dili sa maayo pero magkita og kanang lubi okay ra. Yeah. Kaya kupra kay gilanda naman na bali naman ang inita. Anyway, very interesting kayo atong topic but I think the time is I think especially for Pearl because they are very ahead of time with us here in California, so it might be almost 12 o'clock there, Pearl.
Yeah, it's 11:40. So
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions? No, it's great. I mean, I'm fine with helping out.
Oh, thank you so much, Pearl.
Yeah, just a very, very quick question.
Sure.
Okay. But thank you, Ate Kaylin, for the question and Pearl for always the answer. Okay, continue me.
Our viewer from Canada, sabi niya, my first baby is na emergency CS daw siya because he got only half amount of the oxygen from me. Pero prior to my pregnancy, I work physically. So my question is, if physical ang job mo, would it be matter or is it help also? Or is there specific exercise for a pregnant woman?
There are specific exercises for pregnant women, yes.
Okay.
One of the biggest things I've learned, especially when you're pregnant, is to really work on the pelvic floor muscles because that gets stretched out when the baby comes out, right? So your pelvic floor gets loosened, which can cause your bladder to fall or collapse, and because you've got the uterus and everything pushing onto it, right? And so if you don't have a strong pelvic floor, and those pelvic floor muscles are attached into your hips, and so I don't know if many women, like, I find that Filipinos, because you guys are, well, Filipinos in the Philippines, okay, I'll put it that way, because Filipinos in the Philippines tend to walk a lot. There's a lot of walking to do, to get to a bus, you have to walk a lot. Maybe there's not a lot of places that have it, but there's not a lot of people that I saw in the Philippines that had vehicles. Even though there was a lot of jeepneys there, but there was a lot of walking that needed to be done. And if you look at Filipinos, generally, they tend to be thinner because of that. Whereas in the US, we tend to be a little bit bigger because we don't walk. But in terms of pregnancy, there are exercises that you guys can do because it helps strengthen these muscles, especially your abdominal muscles, because they get stretched out. And then after you have a baby, what happens to those skin and the muscles? They maintain the stretch. Or as you get older and you have a baby, that stretch stays stretched and those muscles aren't strong enough to come back together. And so you can do a lot of things prior and also as pregnant that are healthy for you. You can still move your arms. You can still stand up out of a chair 10 times, right? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I am very interested about this also because actually when it comes to physical activity, while I was pregnant with Gabby, I had a lot of physical activity, a lot of walking. I was everywhere. So everyone was like, I was trying to do my food. I was with God's help, and I was very active. So everyone was expecting that I will have a very, very smooth delivery. And so, I would say that kung meron lang sanang exercise ba na pwede namin gayahin. Pero meron ka niyang exercise sa website. Maybe
I don't have ones for pregnant women yet. I don't have any ones for pregnant women, but I definitely do have exercises that are just for beginners. But yeah, so I haven't had that opportunity yet. I do work with people one-on-one and look at different modalities to help with that, you know. But yes, I think not there's like you said, every pregnancy is different.
Right.
And every woman's pregnancy is going to be different because their body's reaction. I can't tell you why your labor was so long. Why
Right.
you're reacting. Who knows if maybe it was a mineral deficiency? Who knows if that was the case? Or maybe there was something that a muscle group didn't work out. Because here's the thing, there's a lot of back muscle that you have. You've got all these muscles here, right? And when you're birth, what muscle do you use? You use the muscle right here. Okay, you use these muscles to push down onto it. And most women, they don't use those muscles every day. They don't, because that's not natural. The only time you use it is when you go to the bathroom. You don't consciously think to push down, but when you're exercising, that's natural because you have to create the posture. You have to maintain form, and you naturally use the muscles that you use in childbirth when you exercise.
Oh, okay.
And you don't use it when you're walking. It's very interesting. So walking is great, but if you're not adding a little bit of weight, you're not using those muscles. So, any other questions?
Say thanks, Pearl. Okay. Naku, nagutom ng ating buntis. Kain ka lang dyan, Rai. Huwag kang mag-alala.
Okay ra.
Meron po akong tanong about yung pagiging vegan tsaka yung kumakain po ng normal na pagkain, like for me po, kumakain po kasi ako ng normal, like cooked meal, and I try ko po kasing kumain ng less and more on veg. Pag nag-exercise po ako, madali po akong yung hungerness. Yan po. Yes po. So hindi ko kinaya yung lesser yung normal na kinakain ko. So I went back to my normal eating habit, like yes.
Well, kasi to answer your question there real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Most mistake that people think when you're going vegan is you eat less. In fact, you eat more as a vegan. I eat a lot. Okay, my friends will tell you I eat a lot of food, even though I eat twice a day. I eat a lot. If I showed you my plato ko, isang plato ko, ng bowl, right? It's like this big. Like that bowl is like this big, and it's like the diameter of this big. Okay, it's a salad, but it is filled with so much stuff. And I eat that. And then I'll have a smoothie with a big glass of smoothie. 32 ounces of smoothie. Put in, kasama. The thing is, when you exercise, you're going to burn more calories. So you need to add, and your body and your brain is going to need more carbohydrates. That's normal. So you need to eat more. Oftentimes you get hungrier after you work out because you've just burnt all those calories and you're going to continue burning it. So generally it's like, if I ate like 3 hours before I worked out, I'll probably eat again like right away after probably a couple hours after I've exercised, because I need to fill that body, and that's normal. Listen to your body when it says I'm hungry. Don't starve it, because what happens is when you starve it, your body goes into protective mode. Okay, it goes into protective mode because it's trying to preserve you and keep you alive. So eat what is proportionate to your body, because not everybody's going to eat the same way. You know, there's no cookie cutter. Like that's the problem with this, is that a lot of people think I want to have a cookie cutter way of eating. The thing is, how your body eats, it's going to be different probably from how my body eats. There might be similarities, but it's going to be a little different because of how active I am, maybe compared to you, right? If I run I walk, I do strength training at least 3 times a week. So my activities are constant. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all of my workouts. So
I followed you now.
Thanks,
I just
for that
followed you now.
question. Yeah. Thanks, Pearl.
Yeah.
Okay. Me?
Thank you.
Are you around? Maybe she's putting
I'm here.
okay, all right.
Did anyone else have any questions?
Wala po bang meron lang po sana akong isa ding question, but I don't know if pasok siya sa topic na to, but I'm just really I mean para po sa lahat din, curiosity, yung curiosity. Kasi usually kasi pag women, they were expecting if you are using or going to the gym and use the machines with the weights, ang kadalasan po kasi yung result is looking. Yes. Yes po. Yes.
Mali yung concept kasi hindi pwede. Wala tayo ng testosterone. Okay? So, hindi mag-develop ng creatine ng talaga. So, those are 2 things that actually help bulk your body up. Okay, guys, I'm right there with you. Every person, no matter what happens, you're gonna have this, okay? No matter how much you exercise, meron kayo ito, even if you exercise. But if you flex it, you're gonna have like muscles, okay? But hindi sobrang malaki naman ito. It's gonna be proportionate to how much I work it. I can never get as big as my husband. My husband doesn't even like to work out, but he is bigger than me, okay? Because he's a man, he has testosterone, and he has built up creatine. If you take creatine supplements, you're gonna bulk out. That's all. I mean, what happens to you as a woman is your body will build muscles, okay? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and show you my muscly body, but I'm gonna just say that, like no. But I'm gonna say is that you're gonna chisel out, but to your body type, because fat. The misconception that people have in the gym is if I work out this body, all the fat in this place is gonna disappear. The thing is, we cannot control where fat is gonna be. I have 20 plus clients, and I remember because I do a tape measurement or a circumference test on them. Okay, one woman, she lost 10 inches in all of her body. Okay, 10 inches. The most she lost was in her thighs. She lost 4 inches on her thigh.
Oh wow.
Another girl, she worked 1 month, and after we did the circumference test, the most she lost was in her waist. And she didn't lose much at all, but she had a total of I think 5 inches lost that month. But her waist became the tiniest. Other people, their chest becomes the tiniest, okay? So it's like
Wag.
Wag naman po.
Yung boobs. Wag naman yung boobs. pero talagang yung boobs, no, mawawala yung fat mo.
Because if you're doing too many presses, yeah, you're gonna lose your muscle. Okay? If this is all your exercise is this, of course, wala dito. It's all gone. Okay.
Ayaw namin yan, girl.
Ano yan?
Sabi ko, I said, we don't want that exercise.
My point is you need to know what to work out. You know, like having the knowledge of what to work out, how to work out. That's what a personal trainer does for you. You know, that's what I do for my clients is I help them navigate. As I say, I help them go through the journey and help navigate the journey because a lot of people just don't know how to exercise. You know, I have people who I think they know how to exercise, but then they exercise wrong. Their form is wrong. Their concepts are wrong. There's a lot of misconception because there's too many fads and ideas out there that are really
right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pearl.
Pearl, can we invite you again whenever when you have some time? Sorry, Pearl.
Pearl, sorry, may pahabol na question. Sobrang
No,
excited sila sa sa topic. She said that yung Tagalog mo sobrang cute, like what I said kanina. Sige, mag-Tagalog mag-answer ka ha para mas lalong bibo. Sorry, sabi niya, dahil pangutana ragod nga gusto nimo mo lose og weight, gusto daw nilang mag-lose og weight. Now we eat less rice, more in meat and veggies. Can you compare the result of eating more rice versus less rice in terms of losing weight? Like how long it will take to lose weight? Is it okay to eat lots of meat and veggies? Are you still losing weight in it? So meat and veggies daw.
Okay. The
Sige.
honest truth is, yes, you could lose weight generally if you end up going and eat less rice and you have more meat because it's calorie counting, because it's calories. You input the calories. If you eat less calories in general, you're going to lose weight. But the question is your body healthier with the weight you lost?
Yeah.
A lot of times if you eat a lot of meat, and this is you guys, there's so many documentaries on this that the science behind it really proves this fact. One, you need carbohydrates for your brain, which is why I don't believe in the keto diet. And if any of you guys are on it, I'm just being honest on my end as a personal trainer and what I've learned. But the keto diet is not like the healthiest. And people feel that, like I get that there's more efficiency in it, but I think it's harder on the body. And I feel like the brain was designed to process carbohydrates. That's just what God created it. Like if you look back in Eden, we weren't eating a keto diet. We were eating a fruitarian diet, right? When we look at Eden, and if you look at the Daniel, Daniel in the Bible, what did he eat? He didn't have a keto diet. He had a vegetarian fruitarian diet. So when I look at the Bible and I look at how these individuals ate, I'm going, this wasn't keto. This isn't keto. This was not a high fat based diet. And if you don't do it right too, like your brain gets foggy, you can't function well. And I think of it as eat healthier. Okay, if you want to eat less of something, that's fine. But what's the quality of the food that you're eating less of?
Yeah, I agree to that. We don't recommend the keto diet.
Yeah. So I hope I answered that question.
How long daw siya mas-sexy?
Well, let's put it this way. It takes about 1 week to lose 1 pound.
Oh, okay, nice.
1 week, 1 pound.
Yeah.
Okay?
May.
1 week to lose 1 pound if you're doing it right. Generally, I've had my clients lose 10 pounds in one month. I've had a couple of my clients lose that much because they were listening to the advice I was giving them. Obviously, more water, more fruits. Don't eat after 7 p.m., which I failed today. So I'm going to just put that out there for transparency.
Girl, because you had to stay a little later for us.
That is true too.
Napuyat ka na, Pearl. Wala, kawawa naman si Pearl.
Yeah.
So I would say, like when I give them these advice and they followed it, I saw my clients lose, 10 pounds and continuing to lose their weight more because of the fact that they're exercising 3 times a week, getting in their cardio once a week, or within those, by once a week, I mean once after our sessions, So they're doing their own thing even after they've worked out with me, which is good. Because then it becomes a lifestyle. I hate the word diet. Like, honestly, like that's the worst word ever because that's like a cheat word for people. That's a word for like people who are uncommitted, okay? For someone to say, oh, I'm going on a diet, which means I'm only going to do this for a certain period of time, then I could screw it up again and eat whatever I want. Like, that's what it is, Instead, make it a lifestyle. That's why I tell my clients, I said, listen, this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle change. That's what we're doing. We're going to change your life. And so that's what we want to do. So hopefully that answered that question.
May. I think yung last question, parang for good example ako doon kasi hindi naman kasi ako talagang nagda-diet, but actually can I share some video of my it's just 1 minute video.
Okay, sige Ming. Try mo i-share.
Okay, i-share ko. Wait.
Okay, try mo i-share. Transformation ni Mimi.
Mimi.
She loves.
Oopsie. Ay! Wait.
While waiting for Miming, we have other questions.
Anong may gustong sabihin?
Insay gigutom.
Di siya pwede video ni. Di siya pwede video. Mi, pwede ikaw mag-share? Pwede ikaw mag-share sa video? Kaya ni mo?
Sige, Pam.
I know. Oh, sige, while waiting, I want to ask Pearl if are you familiar with the GM diet or the General Motors diet? What's your opinion? Is it good?
I'm not familiar with it. Unfortunately, no. I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
Ay, nakatry ba ko ato kay katong first day fruits. First day fruits, second day. Nalimot na ko. Basta mo itong introduce before.
Yes. I just want to know if it was, if they recommend doing it.
Well, anything that says diet to me, it means it's temporary. It's not a lifetime change. And honestly, it is scientifically proven that anybody who has gone on a diet, they yo-yo back to where they were. So it's not something that's going to be continually a lifestyle change. So,
I think the video.
Oh, the video is working now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Meron sounds. Meron siyang sounds.
No.
Wala.
Oh, I think there's that sound now. It's okay.
Yeah.
Meron na sound?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yes, that was me. Yes. Yes. Ayun po. Hindi ko na alam kung paano mag-ano. Yan po. Usually, hindi po talaga ako nagda-diet basically, but iniiwasan ko lang po talagang kumain ng madami.
Meat?
Right.
Oh.
Very good.
Hot mama.
I so admire your routine. Grabe.
Yes, po.
Inana tay.
Ha?
Inana ta, diri.
Yeah.
Di kaya.
Alam mo matulog. May matulog na may mukhaon.
Ha?
Kasi
sige na ka padalag workout routine everyday sa GC until ka na si Pamela mo weights na gina dito sa gym.
Sexy na mo siya daan.
Tomorrow
No.
Wait, I have a 1 million question, di ba, Mi? Pag mag-vegan diet ko, I can still drink beer.
Yun yung sinabi ni Pearl kanina, Pam.
Nakagit over si Pamela.
Actual question? Is that an actual question?
Yeah. 1 million question.
Okay.
Coffee.
Try and find yourself vegan beer then, but I suggest you don't because beer is fattening.
Oh, yun.
Actually, other than I drink, actually I met this girl in Paris. She's vegan daw. Pero every time we dine out, she had beer. So I was thinking, is it maybe beer? It's from ano diba? Beans.
I've had people who are vegans and have vegan beer, but I feel like you're adding fat. Like why? Like I tell like my clients are like, I really want to get rid of this gut, and they'll be like this. They'll be like, I want to get rid of this fat and stuff, and I'm like, stop drinking beer, and they're like, oh. I'm like, that's your Achilles heel, dude. Like you want to wait, but you're in there drinking alcohol. It's like you're having fat. Stop. That has so many calories. What are you doing? You know, it's like people who work out and they're like the next thing they go to Starbucks and it's like a 500 calorie.
Oh.
Okay, so you
coffee
for 1 hour and yeah, you need to work out again. You know, it's like don't do that to yourself. Like drink something, eat healthier, and make better choices. But I wanted to actually share with you guys the website. So for those that want to kind of see it, and I know this is live on Facebook, so others who can navigate it, because I know some people might be confused maybe. If that's okay for me to do, or do you guys have time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I just wanted to quickly share that. So this is the website. And this actually allows for the free videos right here. Oh. So you can click on the free video and you say ready to begin. And that allows you to get, it doesn't cost anything. You log in, it gives you 3 series of free videos, which is a total of 36 workout videos, which is 3 months long.
Wow.
Wow, thank you so much, girl.
Wow.
3 months for free.
Hi. Dapat site na yan, araw-araw natin i-copy-paste. Sa group chat natin.
And send to the GC gang kay because if you will do workout alone, it's boring man.
So dapat natin kuan ha. Sige go at yan ang ating
accountability
tayo regular
partners.
magkikita, ha?
Accountability partners.
True. Good. Sige, I will do that. Yeah.
And then there's also
virtual exercise.
If you want recipes, there are recipes.
Wow, that's nice.
You can choose 5 to 15 minutes of cooking or 16 to 25, 30 plus. And then there's the new Instant Pot ones for those that have Instant Pot. But and they have a list here of some really simple, you know, there's not thousands of them, but each one has its own section. And so you can choose which one works for you and your time, so you can try it. The one that I have most on is like the 30 minutes, because generally that's how long it takes most people to cook their food. So, but this is ideas for those that kind of want to try vegan, and if they want to try something elaborate, these are a bit more fancy. So that's it there. And these are my must-have items for people who want to try to work out but don't know what equipment to use. I don't know if people have access to Amazon, but if you do, these are all on Amazon that you can get to help you with your exercise regimens. And so, but the ones that are on my video, those ones actually are all no equipment based.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pearl.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Definitely, we're going to put that in our group chat every day. And then Miming or I will be the ano, leaders.
The trainer.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just put it out there. If you guys ever want to try a workout routine, I'll be willing to give this group a free workout for $25.
Yeah.
Even if it's 7 o'clock my time, I will work you out.
Yeah.
Or later, whenever you have like client that is pregnant, later on, just when you have time, when it's like, if you could add that in your website, exercises for pregnant women.
Well, I will. It's funny you mentioned that because I'm actually going into research regarding postpartum workouts, but also pregnant women, and that's going to be on my list of specializations. Because as a personal trainer, I want to be able to expand my sphere of influence, and definitely pregnant women are one of the most complicated because of the fact that and a lot of trainers don't want to train pregnant women because of the liability.
Right.
And because of the fact that they are a very difficult clientele to work with. But I have known plenty of women who have worked out and are okay. But, some women, like I said, every woman is different. Every pregnancy is different. And we can't always guarantee every single person who follows a workout regimen is going to be perfect. It's just not possible. So.
Pearl, I have a question. You're a personal trainer, and if we decided to have a session with you, what will be the arrangement, if possible?
Okay,
that's a good question. After the free videos.
I am really interested to go into vegan, but I am really struggling, and during the lockdown, I gained a lot of weight. I am really guilty of eating a lot of dangerous stuff. So I want to lose more weight. Maybe we can be partners. Ayaw partner na ako kay pakanunta kang kuan.
Yeah. We have in our page, in the FB page, we are like in our previous talks, we encourage our viewers, everyone, to have like the bar diet, and we encourage them to use local foods, and then we have this challenge to post their variety, yung varied ba yung meal, and then using mga local ba. So yeah, we can encourage each other, and if ever it's, we can take a look at what Pearl's webpage, if there are some stuff there that we can have an access sa mga ingredients, that it would be also good. Yeah. So I think there were 2 people or 3 people already who posted their varied menu dito sa webpage. Yeah.
But to answer your question, what I do is I do a consultation. I start off with a consultation, which is about 25. It can be about an hour, almost an hour long, because I assess your body. I see if you have any compensations in your body. I check to see if there's any weaknesses in certain muscle groups, which are really important. And then after assessing that, I put you through strength training just to see how strong and what your limitations are. And after I finish that, that's when we discuss like how this is processed, because I generally, like I said, I work online individually with people, and I have done group before during COVID, but I wish I was doing it with like people who were really committed, but it was harder for people who were outside of the US to pay for the services. So that was the challenge that I had. And then also I have people sign specific documentation, because of liability stuff. That's part of the business protocol. So then after that, we figure out what schedule works for you, and we begin our training.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
Mas gwapo mo gunang na mentoring gang one-on-one rather than doing your own stuff. Kay maglisod ka samot na kung nag-start ka, possible ang mga imong gibuhat dili mao, di ba? So gwapo ginang na mentoring from food to routine, tanan ay mentoring. So it's really nice.
Yeah, well, most of my clients that are even online, like I'll get text messages from them going, I feel so good today. And it's like the first 2 weeks they've worked out with me. They're like, I feel so good. Like, I feel like I have a lot more energy. I'm not really as sleepy as I was. I feel like I could get through it. It's like, that's awesome. Like, it's an awesome feeling to start seeing my clients feel they're getting better. And I will tell you this, it affects their emotional health. It affects their spiritual health, so if you, especially single people who live by themselves, I have a couple of clients who are in that situation where they're alone, and with quarantining, it's even, it's worse. So they get excited when I like, they interact with me because they're like, oh, it's another person I can talk to, so it's like, that's another thing. We laugh and we joke and we get, but I get to know them while working them out, and it's very impactful, in their life. So I love this part of my job, and I could sit and work out people all the time. I love doing it. But yeah, if ever down the road you feel like you consider consider
maybe
it
someday. I need to arrange my schedule and my finances.
Problem with I is a millionaire.
Tansya na.
Magtigom na ta.
Pwede ta magtunga, me?
Package.
Chip in.
Chip in, di ba? That's smart man, practical.
Right. Kami lang bahala na to ani mag-unsaon na to ni.
Well, I get that a lot of people actually think of money as being an issue with, having a personal trainer, but I ask you this, how much would it cost you to transplant your heart? How much would it cost you if you have to have
Diha naman dayon.
Maayo gani ko.
Mahal ang insulin.
Napakay tayo magpa-transplant. What if dili na ka moabot sa transplant?
Well, then I cost you everything.
Yeah.
See, I compare it with people because a lot of times people are like, oh, that's so expensive. I said, yeah. I said, but going to the hospital is more expensive. I was like, I'm preventing you from being in a hospital. I was like, which is probably less than what you would pay going to a hospital for like the rest of your life, or even just a one-time visit. At least it's true here in the US,
Yeah, it is really effective if you have a trainer. Before I have a trainer in a gym, and it's really effective for me.
Yeah. For some people, it's really helpful because not everybody is as motivated. But if you have someone like you said, keeping you accountable, that's important. Or if you have a group of friends that are keeping you accountable, even better. And for me, like I said, I do workouts and stuff. But hey, it would be really fun to do one group workout with you guys. Hopefully, you guys keep up. No, kidding.
I thank you really for opening up gi-open mo na nga ano pa medyo nato na we will motivate each other, and then what happens in this health talk is that every time we finish one session, mayroong homework, there's something to look forward to. And I think with II maybe there's no problem with finances and many but with us or other friends out there, one thing is that when we ask God something that is very important, and we ask him because we want to be healthy, and when we're healthy, we can, we can serve our family more. We have enough time to, to spend time with them, and we can spend time also with others in His service. I think God is more than willing to give us the fund. And for yung mga viewers natin dyan, huwag kayong mag-alala, because who knows, Pearl is very willing. So I mean, we can, who knows, we will have the fund and we can fund, and then we can have it all together. We can pay Pearl, or in some other way God will make a way. Then after the 3 months free video, and then we can upgrade. So we encourage everyone who wants to, I mean, we will do the in whatever, maybe in one of, maybe we can do some arrangements or some other time. Then yeah, because having a personal trainer, a motivator, a mentor, that would greatly help. So, wag po tayong mag-alala, pera lang yan, mayaman ang ating Ama sa Langit.
Correct. Exactly.
But it's money, paper only.
Yeah.
Ayan,
The accountants, may bahala sa pera.
sabi ko na rin ba mag-lead sa atin kung paano natin gawin yun.
Yeah, true, because we believe that this program, it's not my idea, it's not Mimi's idea. This is all from God. So, and then what happens is that lahat ng mga speakers so far, they have the schedule already when to come back. So, yung mga mental health, mga diet, and other important thing, they will be here once in a while. And with Pearl, yeah, we can hopefully, yeah, God will give us the fun and other way. After yung 3 months for video, we can upgrade more, or even before that, why not? And so, Pearl, is it okay, Pearl?
It's fine with me. I mean, I don't mind if you guys decide to have me back. I mean, I did make that offer of a 1 free session for you guys here.
Next session will have a discount, Pearl.
Asking for discount na.
No. Maybe Pearl can give us an idea or a hint, or mga pila na ba kay basin ma-shock ta, basin ma-heart attack.
Figures. Ay, 6 figures. In peso, not in dollars.
Okay.
Who knows? Yes, Pearl, please go on, Pearl. I'm sorry.
Right here, if you go right here, that generally these are my packages that most people see. And so virtual group, if there's 3 people who join in that group and they do 2 times a week, it's $120 per month.
For 2.
Okay.
Or for 3.
Yeah, but it's
calculator.
1,000
per person.
times $50.
Pearl,
person.
I have a question. Sorry. If you put there like 3 or more, baka naman yung more ay 1,000. 1,000 people. What is the limit, Pearl? Number of people?
The limit is technically 5. That's actually
okay. 5 down.
Oh, 5. Okay, up to 5 people. Okay.
Yeah, 5 people general limit. It's just because like the computer doesn't really allow, like it doesn't, because people will stall out, like on the computer. It's like, because like even today in our Zoom class, people were coming in and out, and like their internet wasn't working. So usually if like 5 is there, then it helps maintain it. But if there's 3, it's actually better. I prefer 3 personally, but if they want to, and that's that. So 30 minutes online training, then it's $95 for 3 times a week, and it's weekly. And then weekly of $80 if it's 2 times a week, if this is personal, one-on-one. So that's what that looks like.
Ay, pasali na lang dyan sa na ay.
Pero that's the American rate, Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
Have a peso.
Patawarin mo naman kami. Patawarin mo naman kami.
Tawad sila, Pearl. Patawarin naman po kami.
Takta buka kay.
$120 each.
Na stress.
Itong banker man ito, si manager.
Bunker.
Paglamin ko kami ng tama-tama.
6,000 more or less per
Si
person.
Marty
6,000 per month.
Kami ay pahiramin mo ng tama-tama lang yung interest para
Sige. Pa-approve sa personal loan.
Can push through with Pearl. We can push through with Pearl, but we need to give up our makeups, our other stuffs, diba? So we can have a budget for Pearl. Starbucks, Kai, give up on Starbucks.
No Starbucks in the pita, no. So no worry.
You know what the biggest number one, I think, money waster is going out to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think about where a lot of people's money go, it's going out to eat, and generally you waste it. Like, and yes, you're right. That is an American, I guess, American prices. But I'm just gonna put that out there. Something you guys can pray for me about, and this is great having a group. I am actually putting out an app in probably 6 months or so, which will be very affordable, where it's going to be less than what I charge, and I think anyone will be able to afford it. And it's like a personal trainer, but it's going to hopefully help people. But please pray for me, because I am wanting to help out, but I may end up reaching out to you guys to answer some questions for me as I'm doing my research in development of this app, because I'm trying to create an app that helps people who want to have a personal trainer, but they don't have one and can't afford one, but want something that can help them lose the weight, can help them, and encourage them in a way that they could do this on their own, but really guided and knowing so that's how it works right now. So hopefully that would be something that manifests itself. I would love the prayer from everyone.
We will do that. We will do that first.
Do that.
Yeah.
We'll put that
because I will say this at the if the app is available, then mas libre yun, right? It's like
yes. I'll be praying for you.
Yeah. Pearl. We will wait for that app, and waiting for that app also, we are looking forward, hopefully God willing, we can have you as our personal trainer or group trainer, habang mag-ipon muna kami.
understanding
Pearl, my question is, like, for now, ano po yung what is your advice to all of us na without spending, how we can stay active and healthy? What is your encouragement to all of us here and yung mga viewers natin?
I would say, if you want to stay healthy, follow the guides that I would say. Don't eat 5 hours before you go to bed. Don't drink so much soda. Drink lots of water. Hydrate your skin. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat lots of fiber. Eat I should say foods with high fiber in it. Generally, I send a list out to my clients, and I post that list. And if you can follow that, and exercise at least 3 times a week, for 25 minutes, you're golden. Like just those little small changes, you will end up. And the thing is, don't do it all at once. Take time to think about, okay, what can I do one thing today? And then the next day, I did that one thing yesterday. Now I'm going to take that one thing from yesterday. Now I'm going to bring in a new thing today. Or maybe you'll do that one thing every day for the next, 3 days. And then on the 3rd day, you're going to add another thing to change. That's something that you can do slowly, and it's progressive, because a lot of people who throw themselves in and decide, oh, I'm going to make that change today, generally fail because there's a lot of feeling of failure. They quickly revert back because they're like, oh, I failed today. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And then they get discouraged. But if, say, for example, okay, today, my plan is I'm going to eat 5 fruits, 5 different fruits. today. Cool. Ate my 5 different fruit. Then the next day, I'm going to eat 5 different fruit and I'm going to drink water. And I hate water. I actually have a client who hates water. And that we've just like literally had to work with that person so hard. Drink water. I hate the taste of water. I was like, water doesn't have a taste. What are you talking about? It's like, so it was just training that person. It's like, okay, now I've eaten my 5 fruit. I've added water. Okay. Try a new vegetable. Oh, simple. I'll try a new vegetable. Like, but stack on something that's gradual. Don't try to do everything at once.
So live one day at a time, Pearl. We live one day. Okay. Thank you for that, Pearl. So in this program, we are trying like sometimes for the diet, it really takes us like 1 month, more than 1 month, and then now we move on to exercise because we are trying to do the nutrition, exercise, and next week actually would be water. Yeah, but but most of the times always go back to the diet, to the food. But I think it's okay because because talking about nutrition and diet, it's so big. It's a very big aspect, and so there's so many things that we still need to do, and what needs to be yung hindi pwede go. I mean, hindi magandang gawin or other thing. So yeah, we would like to encourage our viewers. Next week we'll be talking also about water.
Okay, so
yeah.
Sorry, Ogang, continue. Napaka-isote.
Yeah, very shortly. So we will try to cover up New Start and exercise, which we praise God na andito si Pearl and the rest of the friends who are also very encouraging. And then next week will be water. And then next will be sunlight, and then temperance, air, which is Pam typically had that those experiences, yung mga mountains, no, mga fresh air, and then rest and trust in God. So maybe for many months we will be talking about this, and then by God's grace we have people like people expert in this particular field, just like Pearl. So please continue praying, that God will send us more people that because we have friends also, but probably they are busy, but let's please help us pray that they will have also time. And also with, as I've mentioned in the earlier sessions, that good health, it's not just about nutrition, it's not just all about exercise, but yung mga healthy, yung mga lifestyle habits ba. So each lifestyle habits, for example, we can imagine a rainbow. So nutrition is one color, exercise is one color. So for example, nag-show si Miming ng video of how in transformation niya, so nag-lose weight si Miming very effectively. And then even without like going into vegan, I think that's one of the point there. The thing there, like in the research field, like when you have a good diet, that's one, like next time I will show that I will show like if you have a good diet, that would like add like, that's basing here in Loma Linda something like 3 years or something. I will show the exact statistics. So one good habit will add these years in your life. So for example, Miming exercise very well, then this adds to your life, these years. So if we do all this good lifestyle, then there will be more years in our lives. But of course, God, each one of us, we have our own timeline in God's hands. But at least ba, hindi natin, Shle, how do you call that, Shle, in your previous, hindi mapaaga yung funeral natin. Anyway, so we would like to encourage everyone to continue praying for this program, and then we can share also to other people, and let's continue to like do our best para in each color ng rainbow, in each a good lifestyle, more years will be added into our lives.
Okay, thank you, Gang. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much sa kay Pam, Kang Ai, Kang Miray, Kang Miming, Charity, Shlay. Happy kaayo ang tanan. So, I would like to announce the duha na ta ka week nga wala tay quiz. So, sorry kaayo. So, natay mga dili kay exciting man jud ang atong topic. Murag nawala na akong katulugon diri pero maluit ang pearl. So, next week, unong nakabok atong winners. Kay every week naman tayo 3 winners. So, 6 naka-winners next week. And of course, dili mawala ang atong mga prizes. So, join mo for 6 winners makadaog next week. Tag 500 pesos na sila. So, sayo na kayo mga question. Topic na to last week, katong about sa hypertension and exercise, and today, exercise. So, maraming salamat po sa pagtangkilik ng aming programa. Pakigbisog Aron Mahimsog. And thanks in advance sa mga manood. Marami kasing manonood nito sa replay. And isa na ako doon. And sana nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. So, thanks everyone for watching.
Okay, we'll just pray.
Oh yeah, sorry pala. So, if we can ask Pearl, is it okay for you to pray?
Sure, let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord God, so much for today, Lord. Thank you that you are with us and you are blessing us. And we just ask, Father God, that you continue to be with each individual and help them, Lord, to make the important changes that in their life that would help make them useful individuals for your glory. Lord, we know a lot of people's lives have been cut short, that you never intended for their life to be cut short because of their lifestyle. And so I just pray that this topic helps more people to realize how much they are in need of changing it, so that they could live a more fulfilling life in which they could do more for your kingdom, and they could do more for their family and for their friends, and that they could really truly enjoy living and really experience a fulfilling life. I pray, Father God, that as they continue to learn and continue to grow in their knowledge regarding health and all of its aspects combined with the spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional, I pray that they would become a very well-rounded individual and really have a deeper understanding of your creation. We praise you and thank you in Jesus Christ's name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Tanay na usab kita sa sunod na. Thank you so much, Pearl. Thank you, Ate Kaylin.
Thank you.
Ashley.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Salamat.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.